Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I'm just sitting down doing, it's just after 4 o'clock. I have spent all day from 10 o'clock this morning, I had a break, 12:30 for my lunch, and then from 1 o'clock to 3:30 doing this. This is my latest pattern. This is the one I was doing those two little cordings. I just finished the pattern, so I had all the 5 sizes from the 16 to 24. So that one is ready as a PDF for anyone that wants to send me an email and ask for the PDF for to test it, because I would like these patterns tested before I send them out to sell them for PDFs and that. And I have sent it out to one person at the moment. That's to Derek. Don't know whether he's seen it yet, because he does live in Las Vegas, I think it is, in the United States. So there's a big time difference between there and here where I live, in about 9 hours, I think, something like that. So he may have seen it by now. He may be up. So like I said, I would like it tested, because Derek did tell me before I had finished, he says when I finished it, when I make this pattern, he would like to test it for me. So I sent it straight away to Derek as soon as I finished and got it done. But it did take me about 5 hours. It was a lot of work in 5 hours to get that done. And I'm busy doing casting the stitches off for the armholes on this little cardigan. Count up the stitches I've got left on there. 1, 2, 3, that's it. So like I'm saying, I did have a break for my lunch from 12:30 to 1. And then I started on the pattern again. So it took me till 3:30 from 10 o'clock with a half-hour break. And I didn't even have a cup. I'd had a cup when I first started. I didn't bother having a one after lunch until I had finished it. And I've just had a cup of coffee and finished that. So I'm doing what I can, a little bit knitting now, but I had been doing a little bit crochet. This was yesterday before I went out to my quiz night. I started another bag. I've done the piece. I'm going to line it and then put the straps on for it to go over the shoulder and do up the sides. But before I put the lining on, I'm going to make a little like flower motif on it, like I did on the other one. The other one's gone. I've sold that one, so this one will be another one. I should be showing this on my crochet channel, really, like, but that's what I was doing yesterday before I went out to the quiz. And we had a good night at the quiz. We came joint 4th out of 16. There was 16 of us, 16 teams. I think we were only 2 points behind the actual winners. And I think we could have won it if we hadn't changed our mind about 1 or 2 things. You know, you get some questions where they give you a certain number of things and you have to guess the date, what year it was. And one of them was what year was the cigarette adverts in the UK stopped? You know, they stopped putting the adverts for cigarettes on our TV. And I knew I was married in 1967, and I knew it was before that. But I wasn't absolutely certain, so I said, Michael was writing down on the sheet what we were putting down. And I said I thought it was 1965, but I wasn't sure. And Michael thought it was 1964, and Anne thought it was 1963. So we picked the middle one, the 1964, and it was 1965, so we lost a point there. And 1 or 2 other things. We would have actually won if we hadn't changed our mind about 1 or 2 other things, but that's just the way it goes, you know. It's a bit of fun. We have a good laugh. And then at the end of the night, when we finish the quiz, we'll have a game of what's called rock and roll bingo. and it's a card with, instead of 15 numbers like you get in the normal bingo, you have 15 songs. It's the name of the song and the name of the singer on. And you know, I had 15 on that card, and I didn't know a single one on that card. It was all modern stuff. I never listened to anything. I think after the 80s, I listened to all my old stuff that I like, which I have on my computer or in my phone, and I just play things like that when I want to hear any music. I just do not like the modern music that we have today, or else I probably would have known these songs. But anyway, Michael did win. It was only £16, and we always share with everybody, the three of us. It's just the three of us. We share between us. So we had a fiver each. So as a kind of share £16 between three. So I said to Michael, just £5 each, and you keep the pound for what it cost you for the game. So that was my quiz night. And you know, when we were talking, Michael was talking about when we were on holiday. I went on holiday to Corfu with my friend Anne and her husband, and Michael, her son, and Michael's girlfriend at the time. She's still his girlfriend. And it was quite a few years ago. Usually when we were, you know, during the COVID thing, because we're having to wear masks everywhere we went then at the time. And I went out one night with Michael and his girlfriend Amy to this friend of theirs. And Anne and her husband didn't want to go. They just stayed in the villa. But, you know, I got quite drunk that night. And we were walking home. There was like a long promenade. We walked along to get back to the villas where we were going. And I think, you know, I was well served. And I was singing. I remember I was singing my head off. The green, green grass of home. And I didn't know, but Michael was recording. He was walking behind me. He was recording all of this while I was walking along. And he was hunting on his phone. He found it on his phone last night. And I said, don't you dare play that. And he was playing it. He was teasing me with it. And we're driving home in the car. Before I was dropping them off, he was sitting in the back playing it behind me all the time. You know, I was going to stop the car and thump him, you know. But that's it. That's just a bit of fun as well, you know. But anyway, I'm going to get what I can of this little cardigan finished. And I may carry on looking through my books tomorrow, because I do have, I think, about 2 or 3 other patterns that are finished. I've just never got round to printing them out yet. I think the little waffle, what I call a waffle stitch one, I think that one's finished. And I think I have the 2x4 basket stitch one I think I need to sort out as well. And I think they're all finished. Not sure how many I'm going to do on this one. I'm only going to do it up to a 20-inch. I might possibly do. Because it does take quite a long time to do the larger sizes. That's how it took me so long to do the to finish these ones on here, because of the extra length of time it takes to do the larger sizes, because that's a 22 and a 24-inch on the front of there. But at least I still had those cardigans to take a photograph for the pattern. That's the problem, is when I do these things for patterns and I end up selling the things I've knitted, I don't have them for the photograph for the pattern. So I do prefer, if I have more than one, to get more than one picture in on the front. So it took me quite a long time as well to get that pattern sorted out, to get it so that it fitted the whole sheet on the front. So I had just a little bit white all the way around the edge of it. Had to work all that out. And then when it comes to writing this is my photograph, but I have to write all this on as well from the, I use a paint, what's called paint on the computer. Just sometimes I can't get it to work. I keep pressing and it won't print and eventually get it done. So that's another thing that takes quite some time. So I wrote down the exact numbers for this pattern. For you have numbers for the sides, and there's the long way and the short way. So I wrote down the exact numbers that the picture had to be set at for to get it to fit on there, so I won't have to fiddle about with the next one. I'll just go through the picture thing on my computer to those numbers. Should have wrote that down, in the first place. When I first started doing these, I wouldn't have to do that every time. So I'm going to do what I can of this knitting and that. I'm going to make myself another drink because it is near tea time, but I'm rather parched actually at the moment. So I'll say thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.